I recently consulted with a prospective client and his story, wonderful. So this person entered the United States over 30 years ago on a B1, B2, and relying on information from friends and family that had been here longer than him, he put himself on the dating market and then fell in love with a US citizen. And so he quickly divorced his spouse on the B1, B2 from Ghana and then married the US citizen spouse. Fast forward, they put pieces of evidence together and submitted it to the USCIS. The USCIS requested for certain pieces of evidence that they couldn't simply lay their hand on because the US citizen spouse, they didn't have them. And so the USCIS conducted an investigation into the marriage. And finally, after the investigation was over, the petition was denied. And in the decision, the USCIS officer that reviewed it says that the marriage was fraud. This man gave himself some time and again put himself on the dating market, got married to another US citizen, and then they decided to file again, relying on information from friends and family, again, that had been here longer than him. So for the first petition, he didn't retain an attorney. For the second petition, repeating the same mistake, he didn't retain an attorney and still relied on friends and family, information from friends and family. And so again, they filed. But this time, thinking that it was the lack of evidence that made the USCIS officer determine their marriage to be fraud, after the investigation, they decided to put a volume of evidence together and then submitted it to the USCIS. Of course, USCIS processed the petition, took the money, and then the USCIS officer that reviewed the petition said, you know what, I'm not even going to review this because you have an immigration fraud from your first marriage. And so the petition was denied. Bear in mind, the first immigration fraud did not land him in immigration court. Thankfully, the second one too didn't. But then the first immigration fraud followed him into the second marriage. Now, finally, his daughter is 22 years old and is a US citizen. And so, of course, he decides to file for her father. They submitted all the pieces of evidence you can think about: birth certificates, pictures, beautiful pictures, DNA test was also submitted. Again, USCIS processed the petition and referred him to the initial petitions that he had filed and the immigration fraud. But this time, the USCIS officer issues a notice to appear, and for a man that has been here in the United States for over 3 decades is now in immigration court. Listen, whatever information that you provide to the National Visa Center when you are trying to get a visa to enter the United States, that information doesn't go anywhere. It's sitting here waiting for you. And so when you come into the United States, you put yourself on the dating market, and then you begin to contradict yourself, or you contradict the information that you provided to the National Visa Center. You're setting yourself up for misrepresentation. Number 2, when you put yourself on the dating market here in the United States and you fall in love with a US citizen, please make sure that you have enough evidence to prove that your marriage is real. It is not enough to have a marriage certificate like it is proving that that marriage is real or it's bona fide, or you did not enter into the marriage for the sole purpose of immigration benefits. You need certain key pieces of evidence to prove that your marriage is real. Number 3, make sure that your spouse is who they claim to be. So one of the facts that I omitted in the first marriage is that the spouse's birth certificate wasn't legitimate, as it were, and so that was the triggering point. That is what initiates the whole investigation, the RFE that came, and then subsequently the investigation that made the officer realize that, you know what, this is a can of worm. Let us open it and then see what is in there. Please, before you put yourself on the dating market, make sure that your spouse has enough evidence and both of you have enough evidence to prove that your marriage is real. Most importantly, if you enter the United States married on your DS-160, but you're really not married, I hope you have enough evidence to prove that that marriage you were in when you entered the United States is no longer there. Because when you enter the United States married, and then you forget that you're married simply because you are trying to establish ties in your home country so you can get a visa into the United States, you're setting yourself up. Lastly, if you're looking for an attorney to help you file your immigration petitions, please give my office a call at 703-705-9905. My name is Akosua Kissi. I'll see you next time.